We're working on that one to figure that one out. He's got a little something going on in his groin and hip kind of stuff, and so that's kind of that sports hernia area kind of stuff that we're looking at. We're making sure that we diagnose well and take care of him. Right now, we don't have a decisive plan whether he needs any work, or right now we're just going to rest him and see if he can bounce back.
Pete, you talked about fade year 1 to year 2. Have you seen that same jump in the tackles?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you talk to Abe and you talk to Charles, they're going to tell you their outlook on the game is like entirely different than it was a year ago. They were just surviving last year, and just scraping to get by. And they didn't know it at the time. They thought they had all the answers, But now that they can see how clear it has become to them, the game, the calls, identification of the looks, the speed of the game. I mean, everything you can point to that they feel a real advantage now, where they didn't feel that before. So that's what we had hoped for, and we were fortunate. Sometimes you gain that boost there if guys play well their first time out, and they can draw from that experience. Our guys are doing that, and so it's going to help us in a number of ways.
Jake Bobo seemed to have a pretty good day.
He did. Yeah, he's been very competitive throughout camp, and he had a big day today. I think he had the game winner as we looked at it, right, at the end. But had a couple third down wins and did a nice job.
You like the mock game format where you get to overturn calls and spot the ball?
There was a little bit of that.
Decline penalties.
The commissioner stepped in a couple times. You had to
enjoy that power?
keep things. Oh, it's a blast. It's you can't have more fun coaching than what that is right there. You're just calling everything, and so it was really fun again. It was really good working with a great crew. Carl Trevor's got a great crew, so we worked with those guys in the days they were with us, and they were really flexible, and they helped us, other than the fact they called a lot of penalties, but they helped us, keep a real good flow to the game and take advantage of, those little shifts and changes and stuff.
And that side judge 89.
Yeah, I had a little trouble with 89 over there on the side, so I told him I was going to throw the red flag if he made a call. He made a call, but I don't know. I couldn't do it. I backed out.
Does the way Draymond rushes from inside remind you of any other pass rushers you've had at that spot over the years?
Yeah. He's got a little. The creativeness is like Michael Bennett in some ways, and that's we've kind of looked at him like that. He penetrates and he takes advantage of when guys give him an edge. He's a dynamic player, and we're learning him and fired up about what he's continued to show. He's had a really good last 4 or 5 days in a row. I mean, every day he's done something, and again tonight.
You drafted 2 more running backs. You get 3 hurt in 9 days. Is there anything else you can do?
It's all my fault. I mean, I'm just hammering those guys against the wall, and I don't know. I mean, all 3 guys have had an issue already. The top 3 guys along with DJ. DJ's ankle was sore today from he tripped yesterday in practice, and so we went real light on him. It's why you need a lot of guys.
How many? I mean, do you need a dozen? How many? You can only have a few on the roster. So how do you avoid this? You just got to backfill as it happens, or?
Yeah, we're trying to stay ahead of it, and we have a bunch of guys on the roster right now. Fortunately, it's not too much of a burden yet. I mean, Charbonnet's coming back; he's fine. So we're excited to see that happen. Kenny's not going to be out for a long time. He's going to be okay.
In general, what do you think of Geno in the first team offense?
I thought they were sharp. The first drive was really good. Geno was in total command. The guys protected him pretty well. He moved well also. Geno's on, I don't know, what was it, 10 for 15 or something like that? Yeah, he had a nice night.
Good to just get out in front of a crowd like that for the players.
Oh, it's really good for him. Yeah, really good for him. They felt being in the stadium, and I saw Jackson come walking off after he had been out and seen the field for the first time, and his eyes were huge, and he said, I had no idea this place looked like this, and so it was a really big impression on him, and he had fun with it.
Pete, it looked like Artie Burns had a few breakups, played pretty well for you tonight. He was playing well last year, too, before he got hurt in camp. What has he kind of shown you?
He's been really solid. He's been like the veteran guy. He's done a nice job of just kind of showing the other guys how things work and making the calls. And he's a very good technician. He's playing good football.
Anything else? Oh, sorry. When you said Kenny's not going to be out, you mean McIntosh or Walker?
Walker.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You sure? Okay. All right. See you guys.
Kevin said, don't ask a lot of questions. He wanted to get the last one in.
How we doing?
Just how was it being out there, a little more game-like situation, all that stuff?
It was great. I felt really good out there. It was great to get back in front of our fans, in front of in Lumen. Just kind of get the feel of what the games are going to be like. Real good for the rookies to get out there for the first time on the turf and kind of see what it's going to be like, for their first game. So these games are going to come up fast, and it was great to have a good mock game today. And I think everyone did a pretty good job.
Geno, to have the stretch where you hit DK and Jackson back-to-back there and to lead that drive, how good did it feel to have the offense kind of click as quick as it did tonight?
Yeah, that's going to be important for us. I was very happy about that, and those are two guys that we're going to need to, make big plays. And so we talk about starting the games fast, and we talk about scoring points. And so you always want to strike first. You always want to give your defense a lead. And, I think that's where we have to continue to improve. Really want to strike early, score points, and get the ball into the hands of the playmakers.
You and Drew both found Bobo a few times. What's he shown you?
Yeah, Bobo's been doing a great job. Ever since, think back to, minicamp and OTAs, he was a guy who was just showing up on tape, making plays consistently, a guy who knows his assignment. He's got a lot of confidence, a lot of swag. Everyone around here loves Bobo, and, we're happy to see him make those plays because he can be a really good player.
Last year, because of the circumstances, you played a lot in the preseason. Do you have a feel for how much you'd like to play over these 3 games?
Honestly, that's up to coach. I always enjoy playing. Anytime I get an opportunity to play with my team, teammates and go out there and, execute and get better, it's always fun for me. So I would welcome playing a lot again, if that was the case, but it's really up to coach.
How much do those partially game-like reps out here help you in terms of chemistry as opposed to training camp where it feels a little bit more casual?
Yeah, the game reps and the tempo, getting the real live reps, and training camp's very important too. Every single rep that we get, every single step we take, every week we get a little bit better. And so as long as we take those reps and those moments real serious, we focus and we lock in, it's going to make us better. And so to have another opportunity today in Lumen Field in front of our fans with a great crowd, it was just awesome.
Saw you sign in for a while after the game. Just the relationship you've built with fans over the last year. I know you've talked about the sport all along, but especially since you've been starting and all that. What's that been like to have that grow?
It's been tremendous. I always talk about how the fans here have embraced me from day one, and a lot of great memories. And I look to try and continue those. But I'm very grateful for the fans. When I was on other teams, I would always look at the stadium and watch games here and just see how crazy they were, and they were trying to break the sound barrier sometimes. And it was just one of those things where it's just great to be a part of it, because I had seen it from afar, and to be a part of it now and to have them embrace me is just awesome.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Pete Carroll's told us that between year one and year two is when the biggest growth is. Where is the biggest growth?
Honestly, for me, the biggest thing I've noticed myself is that the game has slowed down for me. I've been spending a lot of off season watching film, watching the ball, knowing situations, knowing what's going on in the game, so that I can slow the game down for myself. I felt like that was the biggest thing for me last year, is that I was playing a little frantic, and now I'm starting to get the comfortability and understanding what I got to do out there, and being comfortable in my own skin.
Does that help you more in run defense or pass rushing, one or the other?
Yeah, I mean, it makes the world a lot easier in those situations, especially in the run, knowing what to expect and what situations you're going to get in the run, and especially in the pass, knowing what type of protections you're going to see, knowing what to expect from the offense. So it definitely makes my job a lot easier, and it makes the game a lot slower for me.
Wait, was there a time last year where it started to, for you, that you thought that you noticed it was slowing down for you, or did it kind of take reflecting on the whole year to kind of get that kind of epiphany, so to speak?
There was definitely moments in the last season. It's definitely towards the end of the year, I started getting more comfortable. LA, getting towards in the playoffs and those type of games started getting a little easier. But especially after those two, going back, reflecting on those, seeing what I did in the last season and knowing where I needed to improve my game, and then focusing on that in the offseason.
How tricky is it trying to get a strip sack when the quarterback's in red?
That was an accident. I would just say that. That was not meant. That was not planned. I did not try to do that.
You're not even supposed to touch the arm, like it's not supposed to hit him at all?
No, they're off. Yeah, they're off limits. So that was just a little accident.
All ball, right?
Yeah.
Like basketball?
We can check the film.
What did you anything in particular this offseason that you did differently or worked on to kind of improve, like just during your own offseason time?
I found my routine. The biggest thing, especially coming from as a rookie year, I was coming off of combine training, all those things, coming into a new defense, coming into a new team, knowing I didn't really know what I was doing. And this year, I told myself this offseason I was going to spend a lot of time understanding where my role is, understanding how this defense works for me, and understanding the grand scheme of what we're trying to accomplish. I spent a lot of time, in the film room with Coach Hurt. Spent a lot of time on the field, and now having BT in there and understanding my concept of my pass rush and what I need to accomplish for my goals. Put it together and not making a plan with it.
Does BT personalize a pass rush kind of plan, grand scheme for every guy this season or something like that?
Yeah, every guy's not the same, especially in this game. You can't have everybody rush the same. It would never work. So you got to understand what your abilities are, what your specialties are, and working with those. And he does a great job to talking to everybody and coming up with a plan that works for everybody.
What are some of the strengths identified in your plan?
I mean, there's a little bit of everything. There's power rush, understanding when it's time to finesse, when it's time to throttle it down, use a counter, and just understanding the situation and seeing what you're getting versus what you putting out there.
When you say you're watching ball and stuff, are you just watching you, or are you watching outside linebacker play in general to get a better feel?
A little bit of both. You got to reflect on what you did. You understand where your mistakes were, where you messed up, and what you honestly, have that honest conversation with yourself and figure out what you can figure out, and have that honest conversation to figure out what you can do better, and then understanding how other people play it and understanding what may be a better way to play it.
When the game slows down, how much does it help your communication pre-snap and everything else with the rest of the defenders?
It's night and day. It's once you understand what you're seeing, you can almost predetermine when you have to communicate, when you need the communication, and it helps a lot in that standpoint, because then that way you're not behind, you're not playing catch up before the snap, and you're frantic and looking around, what do I got to do? That way you're doing it beforehand, and that way when a situation occurs, you're already prepared for it.
Anything else?
Thanks, Wade.
Thank you, appreciate you guys.